Hi everyone, my name is Cherise Forbes and I'm the owner of J3 Marketing and Management Consulting. And today I have the wonderful pleasure of hosting this Q&A session with our very own Trinidadian-born Christian author, Mrs. Angelampaultt. Today we will be discussing her book, My First Love, and we are going to get to understand a bit more about our author, why she started writing, a bit more about her book, and some of a personal touch about who she is. So let me just give you a little bit about Angela. She is also an international itinerant evangelist, a life development specialist, as well as a professional counselor. She is also into etiquette, image, and protocol consulting. And she is married to Prophet Alain Paul. Together, they have 3 gifted children by marriage. Now, Angela is called to unlock purpose and destiny that may be lying dormant in other women who have been abused, suffered any trauma, grief, or loss. She's under the covering of Valley Kingdom Ministries, and together she and her husband are servant leaders under the leadership of Apostle Wayne Andrews. So it is my pleasure to be here today with you, Mrs. Angelampaultt, as we discuss your book, My First Love.
Thank you so much, Cherise. It's just a pleasure to be here and to impart. Thank you so much.
It's really wonderful having you, and I'm excited. I'm ready to hear a lot more about you. So tell us, author, writer, but did you ever see yourself as an author or a writer?
Absolutely not. That was actually the last profession or career or activity that I ever thought of myself as doing. Took me totally by surprise, and to God be the glory. For some reason I was commissioned, divinely commissioned to write. So I was never seeing myself there at all, totally not.
That's wonderful. So you are there, you are published. When did you start writing? When did you actually start, typing or putting pen to paper?
I really believe it was in my childhood. As I think back on being a child, I was very creative, very, very, very imaginative. I used to write and draw and make up these stories in my head, and these are the things that I did as a child. But I would say officially, when I had my daughter, I went back to what we call adult evening classes. And I did English. I did English, as I mentioned in that book. To those of you who will be purchasing the book, or those of you who have read the book before, you know that section where I went back to school and I did over English, and the teacher, my instructor, pointed out to me that I do have something special, a writing skill. And she would read the stories. Every week in class, she would stand up and read my short stories, because we had to practice a lot of short stories, descriptive skills, and so forth. And she would literally read my stories, and she was so excited about these stories that I would make up. And she told me, she said, continue to write. But of course, it lay dormant in me for many years until I would say officially again in 2015. That's when I really, really felt the compelling leading of the Holy Spirit to write. And he had to write My First Love.
Wonderful. Wow, that is a great story. Sometimes we really have to get somebody to, point out in us what we don't see in ourselves. So that is excellent. Because today you are an established author. So that's great. So you published your first book in 2016, this book, My First Love. And you did self-publishing. Can you tell us what that was like for you? Did you have any highs or lows or in-between moments?
Lots of highs, lots of lows, lots of in-betweens. Actually, I would say the process was a marathon. It wasn't a 100-meter dash. It was a marathon, because I was lacking in so much knowledge concerning self-publishing. I do thank God for Amazon.com and Create Space. CreateSpace, they had a platform where they had teaching you how to upload your book and giving you tips and certain, you know, certain items and different things and blueprints of how you could market your book and how to, bring your book together. They even had tools such as graphics, how to do your cover, and so many different things that
Right.
would teach you. So I made myself a student on that Amazon website, and I took advantage of all of the tools that they had to offer because I had absolutely no knowledge. And honestly, Cherise, I sought someone, a physical human being, to teach me, but there was no one to be found. I really searched,
Wow.
but I couldn't find anyone to teach me how to upload my book and how to do this, how to do that. So a lot of things I learned by trial and error. And I want to give God thanks because I think through my prayer life went to a whole nother level because I had to pray a lot because I didn't know
Yes.
too much. So I learned, I stumbled, I fell, got back up again until finally I was able to upload the book. Finally, I figured it out. I had those aha moments. I think those were my high moments. I think one of the highest moments of them all was when my book was actually uploaded on Amazon, and Amazon,
Yes. I can
they
imagine. Yes.
accepted the book and they said, okay, it's going to be live. I remember the day when the book was live. Oh my God, I was on a great high and I was just giving God thanks. It was just tremendous. So I thank God for the journey because it taught me a lot. Taught me a lot of stuff.
Wonderful. And any other high points for you or any other least favorite moments of that self-publishing process?
Yes, actually, when I printed the book, because I went with Christian Printers Limited,
Yes.
they printed the book, and I will never forget the day when we went to collect the first batch of books. And I know every author and every writer and every aspiring writer, every poet who will be watching this broadcast, you know that feeling. It's a surreal moment. Looking at the book, it looked like someone else's book. It's almost like I wasn't the author. I was looking at it from a fresh pair of eyes, and I actually said, "Who wrote this book?" I didn't write this book. I said, God, how did this book come together? It was just a moment in time, but it was a beautiful moment. Just awesome, awesome experience. Low points, of course, the little difficulties. Sometimes I had to put the book down in between, little situations that would pop up. Sometimes not getting back to my writing as quickly as I would like to. The editing
Yes,
process.
I was going to ask about that. Did you have any experience with writer's block along the way?
Yes, I did actually. I certainly did. Writer's block, I think, is something that happens to pretty much every writer. But I would advise persons, if you do have writer's block, just to take some time away. Take some time away from the situation. Don't frustrate your mind trying to get something. I believe that writing has to flow naturally, something that flows
Yes.
from. And when you get to that place of frustration and you want to write and you can't write, what I do, I just leave the situation. I leave it for a few days, sometimes weeks, honestly, until I get that juice and that download and that inspiration to write again. And many times when I pray and I ask God to give me the downloads, a lot of times with my first love, what I did, I would pray, and ask him for his downloads, ask him for his revelation, ask him what it is he wants me to put in the book. And that was my modus operandi, so to speak, for the book. I really sought the Lord and I asked him, and he gave me the direction that I needed.
Right. So that is your writing source.
Yes.
Your message comes from him. So you have to connect in order to get your message.
Yes, absolutely.
And that is really, really awesome. Now, tell us, when you connect with readers, what's your favorite part? Because much like a movie or any other art form, you connect with your audience. So your writing connects you with readers. Can you share with us any of your favorite moments where you connected with a reader?
Yes. To me, the most touching moments that I've had is hearing the tremendous transformational and inspirational stories from the readers.
Yes.
Many lives have been changed. Many persons have grown and matured spiritually, and they have received so much from the book, and they have, communicated that to me. It really has had a tremendous positive impact on the lives of many of the readers, and I really want to give God thanks for that. I
And
really
I'm sure that is your moment of, satisfaction that you have accomplished what you set out to do, right? That's excellent.
tremendous
When you
satisfaction.
set out to write, do you have any special writing rituals? Say, you decide that you're going to write certain days of the week or for certain hours. How do you do it?
What I usually would do, I would schedule myself. So I'm making a date with myself. I would say, okay, I want to write. Let's say on Friday, I want to have a writing day. So I would
Yes.
schedule myself. I would, you know, rise up early and try to, do my regular house duties as a wife. And
Yes.
once I get that done, I'll try to get that done as quickly as possible. And then I would
Mm-hmm.
settle into my writing. Of course, I like to have my little herbal tea in the morning and my smoothie to give me
Mm-hmm.
a sense of alertness. And
That's a fruit smoothie.
and my smoothie, yes, fruits, sometimes vegetables. Love
Nice.
that. That really has helped me a lot. My brain to keep working. So
Right.
honestly, it has been tremendous. So what I would do, many times I would be actually engrossed and involved in writing. Sometimes the whole day passes. Sometimes I go from 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 9 to 7. When I was actually finishing my first love, there were
Mm-hmm.
nights that I finished writing maybe 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 p.m. That's
Wow.
when I was finishing up my first love, and I had to go over all of the editing and so forth. So it has been a journey. So sometimes the scheduling is important, very much that you schedule yourself. Very, very
I can agree with that,
much.
and we're now learning that it applies to your writing as well. So tell us, I mean, after self-publishing, after the highs, lows, and in-betweens, is there anything about the self-publishing process that has changed the way you write now?
Yes, it has actually. What I try to do is that even as I write, I'm very much aware of my editing because the editing process took such a long
Yes.
time. And I thank God for
Mhm.
your establishment, J3 MMC, Marketing Management Consultants, that is helping me with the editing because the editing took up such a bulk of my time in the past. So I give
Yes.
God thanks for this new level and new wave of help. But it has helped me to mature. I believe that my writing has matured since my first love. And like I always say, my first love was like my first baby. It was the opening of my
Yes.
writing womb, so to speak. Because if you look at giving birth to a book,
Mhm.
just as giving birth to a baby, when that baby comes out, it's a beautiful feeling. You're excited.
Yes,
You
it
forget
is.
all the pain. You forget all the editing. You forget everything. So too, when
Mhm.
you're writing a book, it's just like giving birth to a baby. So now that I've given birth to that first baby, which is my first love, and of course I have it also in Spanish, mi primer amor. I have
Yes.
actually grown and matured. And I think just as in the natural, a mother when she has her first baby, she's a bit shy and she doesn't have as much
Yes.
knowledge and she needs to learn
Mhm.
things. But the second baby that comes along, she's a little more mature, she's a little more knowledgeable. She moves it more freely in the office of a mother. So I look at it like that, the second and third and the ones that are coming after. The one that I'm currently writing, as we'll talk about, I really feel a sense of a greater maturity. And I see the maturity even in the writing style. My writing style has gone to another level. And I really have to give God thanks for that as well.
That's excellent. So, I mean, thank you so much for sharing that with us. One last question for this segment. For any other author who is out there, anybody else that may be writing now or, going through the self-publishing process or have aspirations to become a writer, what advice would you give them?
Wow. I would say self-discipline is a key factor because many persons have begun writing. They have begun writing, but unfortunately, they have never finished. So there was a start, there was a middle,
Yes.
but the process was never completed. Many people stop at the middle, they stop at coming close to the end. So I would say have self-discipline. I would say the 3 Ps, which we normally share at the First Time Authors Workshop: prayer, patience, and perseverance. So you have to look at this as a marathon. You start and you keep at it, you continue until you reach the finish line. You have to have that self-discipline, you have to be self-motivated, and you have to have the endurance to complete it. And like I said, if you go through the little setbacks and distractions that do come in our lifetime, my advice is, take a break, come back another day with a fresh pair of eyes and a new perspective. There's always a new day dawning that you can approach your writing with a fresh pair of eyes. So don't get frustrated and just leave everything, because sometimes you could get frustrated and you could self-doubt and have so many doubts and say, oh my God, this writing thing is not for me. Who is ever going to read this? It does come in. There have been times where you doubt yourself and you say, oh my God, who's ever going to read this stuff? But trust God. If God has commissioned you to write, He is going to see you through to the end. So I would say prayer, patience, perseverance, endurance, and self-discipline. Those are key tools that every writer needs.
Thank you so much for that. And
Great.
thank you for sharing with us in this segment today about your writing development as an author. In our next segment, we will learn a bit more about your book, My First Love. But for now, don't forget, Angela's book, My First Love, is available on Amazon.com. She has the English version as well as the Spanish version, Mi Primer Amor. So look her up. She also has her personal author website, www.angelampaultt.com. And you can follow her on Facebook and Instagram at Angelampaultt. Thank you so much for joining us, and see you at the next session.
Thank you, Cherise. It's been a pleasure being your guest today. Thank you.
Yes.